All of you see the screen? All of you see the presentation screen? Just write in the chat box. Okay. So in the last class, we already discussed the syntax analysis, its introduction, and basically its important diagram. Basically, the parser or the syntax analyzer basically takes the token from the lexical analyzer and produces the parse tree. So all our discussion in the syntax analysis is moving around the parse tree, and basically there we already discussed it is based on the syntax on the context free grammar, which is abbreviated as CFG, and you already studied it in theory of computation. So we already discussed the parse tree, how the parse tree can be constructed, and this is the very important classification of parsers. Basically, the parsers are classified into top-down parsers and bottom-up parsers. So, in today's class, we will going to start the top-down parser. So, this is the classification we already discussed in brief in the last class, and in today's class, we will going to start the top-down parser. So we already discussed their comparison and what is recursion and its type. So we already discussed the left recursion and how we need to eliminate the left recursion in the grammar in order to make it comfortable or suitable for left recursion uh, for top-down parser. So I already discussed some questions on elimination of left recursion, and I already gave you two assignment questions related to left recursion. So in today's class we will going to start with the very important topic, and it is known as left factoring. All of you see this slide. So how many participants are there? Okay. So let's start today's class with the new topic, left factoring. So basically, if a grammar is given with common prefixes, so if right hand side of more than one production starts with the same symbol, then such a grammar is called grammar with common prefixes. This is the general form. As you can see, if a production is of such type that A produces alpha beta 1, or A produces alpha beta 2, or A produces alpha beta 3. So in all these production, alpha is common in the right hand side. So this kind of grammar is considered as grammar with common prefixes, because alpha is common in all the three productions. So top-down parsers cannot decide which production must be chosen to parse the given string. So to remove this confusion, we use left factoring. So in order to make the grammar suitable for top-down parser, we need to first remove the or eliminate the left recursion, and then also do the left factoring. So the grammar is the general form of grammar is this type, as already given this type. Then we need to do the left factoring. Now moving on to the next slide. Now left factoring. So left factoring is the process by which the grammar with common prefixes is transformed to make it useful for top-down parsers. So in left factoring, we make one production for each common prefix. The common prefix may be a terminal or a non-terminal or a combination of both. This is very important point. The common prefix can be terminal or it can be non-terminal or it can be combination of terminals and non-terminals. So rest of the derivation is added by new productions. So the grammar obtained after the process of left factoring is called as left factored grammar. And this grammar is useful or suitable for top-down parsers. So moving to the next slide. So this is the general concept and this is the general form how we can left factor the grammar. Suppose a grammar is given to you. A produces A alpha 1, A produces A alpha 2 and A produces A alpha 3. So these are the three production. As you can see, these all the three grammars are with common prefix A. Then we need to left factor it by using these productions. We can convert the grammar with common prefix with these two productions. So A produces, the first production is A produces A small A dash. So this is the small a is the common, which is common in all the productions. So A produces small A dash, and A dash produces all the three uh, other terminals or variables which are not common. So here alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3 are not common. So A dash produces alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3. So this grammar is left factored grammar. All of you understand it? Just write in the chat box. This is the general form. Okay. So moving to the next slide. So let us discuss some questions on left factoring. So this is the first question. Do left factoring in the following grammar. Suppose you have given the grammar and you need to left factor this grammar. So how you can identify whether the grammar is containing left factoring or not? First, you need to check it. So here you can see production from S. It produces IETS, then IETS, and A. So here you can see from the question IETS and here IETS. So this is common in both the productions. So this means this grammar contains left factor and we need to eliminate the left factoring in this grammar. So by using the general rule or the general formula which we discussed in the last slide, we need to convert it. So in the first iteration, we can convert it into what is common. IETS is common, so we need to take it IETS and then S dash. So S dash comes from the symbol basically which basically starts it. So here S is in the left hand side, so we can also write the S dash here. And now the second one is S dash produces E dash ES. So here you can see ES is extra here, not common, and here IETS is consumed. So here only epsilon is there. So that's why we can write ES in one production and epsilon in the second production. You can also write it as S dash produces epsilon first oblique es both will be treated as same, and this production contains no left factoring, so we can write is as it is. So by doing this transformation or conversion, we can convert this grammar which contains left factor into a left factored grammar. So all of you understand this example? Can I proceed further? Okay. So let us discuss the second example, which is somewhat complex than the first. So here in the second example, you can see a question is given, do left factoring in the following grammar. Here a question is given, and here you can first check whether the grammar contains left factoring or not. Here you can see in all the three productions, it starts with small a, so that's why it contains the left factor. So here you can see a is there, small a is there in all three of the productions. So we need to first convert it into left factored grammar. So according to our rules, so a produces what is common. We need to first take it. A produces small a and a dash, and the a dash gives what are uncommon in all the three grammars. So here you can see ab, and in the second BC, and from the third production AC. So this is the first iteration, right? And again this is the grammar. As you can see in this step, as you can see now, as you can see, this also contains a dash produces ab and ac. So here also you can see it is both these productions start with capital A. So in this step we also have the left factor grammar, so we need to eliminate the left factoring grammar in this step as well. So we need to apply the our rules in this step as well. So now in the step 2, you can see the first step is as it is, because as we already converted into this. But in the second step, you can see that a dash produces, here only a is common in two productions and not in the third production. So we can take common from these two productions. So here a is common, so we write is a and a double dash, and the bc not containing any common factor, so we write bc as it is. And now the a double dash contains what are uncommon in both the productions. So here you can see the uncommon are, first is b, and in the second one there is c. So these are uncommon. So this is the final left factored grammar. So basically I can write it once again. A dash, here a dash gives to AB oblique AC. Actually very difficult for A dash produces AB and AC. So here you can see A is common in both. So that's why we write A, and after this step, in the third step, only B and C are there. So we write A double dash B, in A double dash we write B and C. So this is the final left factor grammar. So in this example, we need to convert the left factored grammar in two steps. And in the previous example, we can convert it in the one step. So all of you understand it? Just write in the chat box. Okay. So moving to the next slide. So how many participants are there? Okay. So this is the important question which can be asked in many competitive exams. What is the relationship between left recursion, left factoring, and ambiguity? So basically, there is no relationship between left factoring, left recursion, left factoring, and ambiguity of grammar. So all the three concepts are independent and has nothing to do with each other. So basically, all three are independent. So the presence, you can also write in this form: the presence or absence of left recursion does not impact left factoring and ambiguity. In the same way, the presence or absence of left factoring does not impact left recursion and ambiguity. And in the same way, the presence or absence of ambiguity does not impact left recursion and left factoring. So these are the different forms you can write the same language. But basically, you need to understand or remember it that the relationship between there is no relationship between left recursion, left factoring, and ambiguity. All are independent with each other. So moving to the next slide. So this is the question, or basically the assignment question of left factoring, which you need to perform or solve and submit in your assignment two. You already done the two assignment which are based on elimination of left recursion, and now the third question which is based on the left factoring. So this is the question. You can write it, or I will share this slide to you after today's class. So this is the question. You need to solve this question and submit it in the assignment 2. So I will create a link for assignment 2, and there will be some more questions given in the assignment 2. So you need to submit it. So that's all about the left factoring. All of you understand it? Just write in the chat box so that we can move to the next topic. Okay. So I am sharing the next slides or the next PPT with you. All of you see these slides. Top down parser. So this topic we can study in today's class. Top down parser. All of you see these slides? Just write in the chat box. Okay. So basically we need to shift to the uh, we already discussed that there are two types of parser. One is top down parser and the other is bottom up parser. So first we will going to study the top down parser. So basically the top down parser is based on leftmost derivation. This is the important objective question. uh, in which form the top-down parser is based. So basically, the top-down parser is based on leftmost derivation, which is abbreviated as LMD, leftmost derivation. So the process of constructing the parse tree, which starts from the root and goes down to the leaf, is top-down parsing. So the top-down parsers construct from the grammar, which is free from ambiguity and left recursion. So in order to make the parser suitable for top-down parsing, first the grammar is free from ambiguity and left recursion. The top-down parser uses leftmost derivation to construct a parse tree. It allows a grammar which is free from left factoring. So a grammar which is suitable for top-down parsing must be free from ambiguity, left recursion, and left factoring. So all the three will not be there for the grammar to be top-down parsing suitable. As we already discussed, what is ambiguity, what is left recursion, and what is left factoring. So moving to the next slide. So suppose this is the example. You are given this grammar. E produces E plus plus, E produces E into E, and E produces ID. So and this is the string. You need to parse this string. W is equal to ID plus ID into ID. So from the given grammar, you need to convert this into that string.